it's your girl Kim Careers, and I'm back with another YouTube video, baby. If you are a returning subscriber, then you already know the vibes. But if it's your first time to this channel, then you're welcome. You are going to love it here. So without any further ado, let's get into it. How I got 6 distinctions in matric part 2. I cannot overemphasize how past papers played a major role in most of the distinctions that I was able to get in my matric year. Because I know a lot of people tell you, your teachers even right now, maybe you're currently in matric and your teachers are telling you do past papers, your seniors are telling you past papers, people that just finished matric are telling you do past papers, and you're like, past papers. Guys, we cannot all be lying. And let me tell you the 3 main importances or 3 main reasons why past papers are literally going to take you from one level to another in your academic year. First of all, you need to understand, or you need to know, how the government asks their questions, because the way that your teacher, your high school teacher, sets her English paper or sets her physical science paper is not the same way that the government is going to set papers. So there are times whereby students actually fail, and it's not because they did not study, but it is because they didn't understand the question. They're not used to the way the questions are being asked. So the more past papers you do, you familiarize yourself with how the government asks their questions, right? Number 2, it is also going to help you to see what they are looking for exactly in your answer. Like when they ask you a question, what do they want you to write? And that's why it is very important as you're doing past papers. I know most of the websites that where you can download past papers, it's usually a past paper and then it's followed by a memorandum. Guys, the memorandum is very, very important. Don't just use it to see whether you were right or wrong. Don't just use it to see, okay, what is the answer, but use it to see what are they looking for in your answer. What is the key word? How do they mark? What exactly are you getting marks for? This is going to help you also answer your own questions so that you avoid wasting time. Don't waste your time writing unnecessary information. In your final exam, guys, there is no time to waste. And then the bonus thing when it comes to doing past papers is that we all know they repeat. I feel like that's the main reason why I did past papers. They repeat questions. There is no new question, literally, especially for business studies, even English and Afrikaans. Because I remember over the holiday when I was back home, my little sister, she was doing matric last year, and I remember she literally told me, because she was using my books and some of my past papers to go through and study and revise, right? And then the essay question that came for us, right, in English literature, 2 of them, right, both of them came out last year in her trial exams, right? Even for physical science, there was a question that came out in my paper, it came out in her paper as well. So guys, the government repeats questions. You are literally shooting yourself in the foot if you are not going through past papers. You know, for physical science, I knew I got a distinction in this paper. You know why? Because they literally repeated. I can't even lie. I literally left there, and then there were some people that we had a group where we were doing past papers together, right? So when we all left, they were like, question 2018 Eastern Cape. We even knew the province the question was from, and we even knew the year they got the question from. Guys, this point is also going to go together with the next point. It is not about studying everything, guys. You cannot study everything, guys. Okay, maybe there are a couple of people that can study everything, but I didn't study everything, and I was able to get 6 distinctions in matric. Not because I studied everything, but because I studied smart. Go through your past papers, right? And then you look for the questions that came out the most. I'm sorry I forgot to mention this. When you do past papers, don't go more than 4 years ago. Try your best to stay within 4 to 5 years ago when doing past papers, just to be safe. So you go through past papers, right? And then you look for the questions that came out the most. You write them down, whatever subject it is, especially when it comes to essay questions, like in subjects such as life science, business studies, English, Afrikaans. They are going to repeat essay questions. They don't come up with new, especially if because I know in English they allocate certain books. So if you're doing like Hamlet and you go through past papers where people did Hamlet, chances are those essay questions, 1 or 2 is going to be repeated, right? And then number 2, right, you look at which, as you're going through past papers, right, you look at which question counts the most marks. You like basically write them in order from the most marks to the lowest marks to see the level of importance. Because I feel like in the mathematics paper, the one with the lowest mark in my, I don't know right now, in my year was probability, right? Probability had like the lowest mark, and I did not do probability. I think I left it open. Like I just like, nah, bro. Because I didn't prepare for probability. I was very, very behind. And for me, mathematics was extremely, extremely hard. So I literally chose topics that I was going to do. And I focused more on the questions that had more marks, like riders, geometry, and things like that. And then when it came to probability, I just did past papers. And if what I did came out, then good. If it didn't come out, then it was good. So try doing that. Go through past papers, and then you write which questions has the most marks, and then you start with those topics, right? Because they have the most marks. You can't spend 2 months studying a topic that is only 7 marks in your final exam. Why are you wasting time? There is no time to waste. That time you're wasting, you could be doing a topic that's worth 20 marks, and 20 marks is a lot in your final exam. So guys, it's not about studying everything, it's about studying smart, whereby you're using past papers and you're using your memorandum, you doing the most important work. You're going to be fine. Ask for help, guys. You can't do this alone. You can't do this. And this is one thing I actually learned in university, that it also helped me in high school. You can't do this alone. You need to ask for help. Ask for help from your peers. You don't know everything, right? And never look down on other people. Never look down on your classmates. Never look down on your peers. Because I wasn't very good in Afrikaans, because we're not Afrikaans at home. We're not Afrikaans speaking people. You get? So I wasn't very good in Afrikaans. So I remember there was a girl that I used to go to. And I literally went to her. She was like my classmate, right? And I literally went to her because she was really, really good in Afrikaans. So I went to her and I was like, hi, can you help me in Afrikaans? Like when you're studying, wherever you're studying or whatever, I just need your help in Afrikaans. And she helped me. She never said no. She never performed or like acted all bougie or what. She honestly was like, okay, when I have time, as I'm studying, I can help you with this. What do you need help with? And that was the person that helped me with my Afrikaans. My Afrikaans went from 70-something%, and in my final exam, I got 80%. So that 80% I got was because of a classmate that helped me. So don't be afraid to ask for help from your teachers as well, guys. Your teachers are not your enemies in matric. Your teachers are your best friend, guys. I always went to my teachers during break. I always went to my business studies teacher, and I would literally stay in his class. I didn't have break time, right? And I went to all my teachers, like my life science teacher. Guys, my distinctions, right, would have been impossible without the help of my teachers. I am not going to lie to you guys. I am not, because I knew that I needed help in my matric. My grade 11 results were very, very pathetic, and I knew that I needed help. But at the same time, I knew that my parents could not afford to take me to extra classes for every single subject. They weren't able to do that. The physical science, that's the only subject that I went for tuitions, and it was still pretty expensive, you get. So I couldn't go for tuitions for every single subject. So I literally used my teachers. Guys, your teachers use those people because they are there for you. Don't be afraid. For business studies, I went to my business study teacher, Mr. Erlang. He was my favorite teacher. He was the best. I cannot lie. I would go to him and tell him, sir, when I'm answering this essay question, how should I start? How do they want? What is the format? Your teachers know all this information that you don't. Because if you do it without your teachers, you are going to be studying things that are very useless. Because I would go to my teacher, right, and we would page through the textbook with me, and he would literally cancel pages. He would no, don't do this, don't study this, this is not important. They never ask, don't. So my entire textbook had like pages that were like scratched out that he told me not to study. I went to him. He didn't just come up and no. I realized and I saw that I want a distinction in business studies and I need my teacher's help to do it. So I went to him. So when it came to time, when the time came for me to study, right, I wasn't studying the entire textbook because most of the pages were like crossed out and he told me to like leave. No, for this, when it comes to this topic, don't use this book, use this book. Your teachers are going to give you that information. Same with my life science teacher, same with my English teacher, my Afrikaans teacher. Guys, my teachers, shout out to all of them, honestly. Yo, if it's Yofro Erasmus, guys, when it comes to life science, I feel like I had teachers that want to teach. And sometimes I feel like we are afraid of asking for help from our teachers because we're afraid of what people will say or whether people are going to see you as a teacher's pet. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you right now, if you're in high school, especially if you're in matric, because you're about to leave high school, what you did in high school, after high school, all those things are not going to matter. Literally, whether you are the popular girl in high school or the most prettiest in high school right now or the whoever you are, it's not going to matter. Like, I literally, like, yeah, it's not going to matter because I'm a popular girl. Was a school in ShopRite. ShopRite. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just trying to let you guys know that, you know what, whatever is happening in high school right now, don't let it like depress you. Just because you're like a no one in high school doesn't mean you're going to be a no one after. So don't say I'm not going to ask for help because abantu bazothi mina nginjani. Don't do that to yourself. Your teachers are your best friend. My teachers, literally, I had the best teachers, and I can never stop saying this because I went to ask them for help. Literally, free time after school, I would go to my teacher for mathematics. During break, I went to another teacher. Every subject, I had a teacher that was helping me through it. You test yourself, you know, whatever topic you've done. I did this a lot in high school, a lot. If I finish a certain topic, right, or two topics, then I set a test for myself, right? I set a test for myself and then I write it. I put a timer, I write it, I mark myself so that you see whether, okay, are you actually learning or you are wasting your time? You get, because testing yourself is very, very important, especially when it comes to subjects that have got a lot of information. You might think you are studying, but you are basically just converting, copying from a textbook to your book, and you're basically making up your own textbook. That is just writing. You're just writing notes. But is it in your head? Is it binakant? Is it entering? You don't know. How are you going to know? Test yourself. Set tests for yourself. Or you can, I remember for business studies, my teacher was very willing to do that. I used to go to him and like, sir, I just finished these two topics. Can you please set a test for me? And then he would do that. Even for my mathematics teacher, you're from Gravit, shout out to you. She was also very, very willing to do that. So if you feel like you can't set the test for yourself, you can ask a teacher that's willing, or you can ask a senior or a sister, or even your own parents. I feel like my mom would have done that. She wouldn't have said no if I had asked her, but I just never ask her. You get, so you can even ask your parents. You give them the textbook and you tell them, okay, I've done this page, please set a test for me. They set the test for you, you answer it. If you get 80%, then okay, cool, you know what, you are studying. But if you get below 80% for a test that you set for yourself, imagine when the government sends the exam for you, how are you going to do? So it just helps you to see whether, okay, are you really studying, or you're wasting your time, or you're basically just photocopying notes from your textbook to your book. Save the best for last. Yeah, this is what they're talking about. Saving the best for last, guys. I cannot talk about my journey. I cannot without mentioning God. Guys, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. Like, I can't leave him out because he was a very big part of how I was able to do so well in high school and how I've reached this far in medical school. I can't leave him out, guys, because I used to get sick. Like, whenever I'm even like, I think it stopped now. I used to get sick. Like, whenever I'm about to write a test or an exam, I become sick. Like, I can't study. Even first year university, it happened. My final exam. So the only thing that could get me through it was praying. I can't emphasize how important prayer is. I would pray before studying. I still do it even now in university. I pray before I study. I pray before I write my exam. When I feel like I'm studying and I can't understand, I pray. If I feel like the work is becoming too much, I cry to God and I pray. Because guys, there are people whereby you can study, right? But then you reach the exam and then there's nothing in your brain. Why? Just put God first in whatever you do. Put God first. Like when you're studying, just God, please, as I'm studying, be with me. You don't have to like shout or do a whole, fire, those fire prayers, because I'm Pentecostal and you don't have to, just a small prayer to just invite God. God, as I'm about to start writing, please be with me. So God was a very, very important part of how I was able to do good in matric. Even right now, he's still an important part of my entire journey in medical school. I can't leave him out, guys. So praying is very, very important. Pray before you study. Pray during the paper. And I speak the blood of Jesus a lot, usually, whenever I'm really scared or nervous. So guys, if you are a believer, of Christ, if you are a Christian, then don't forget to pray before you do anything. If you feel like you're forgetting, if you feel like you are not going to make it, if you feel like you're not strong enough, just pray, guys. It always works. I am a living testimony. I know, guys, that you guys were expecting to hear something about study timetable, because people always talk about having a study timetable. The reason why I didn't put study timetable in my video, because I was telling you guys how I got these distinctions and I didn't have a study timetable. But it is important. If it works for you, then it works for you, But I didn't have a study timetable, guys, so I can't lie. I never used a study timetable. Even now in university, I can put it there, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me, guys. Like, it's probably just for decoration. That's why I didn't put like study timetable in this video. But time management, it is very important to manage your time. Put enough time for enjoyment. Put enough time for sleep. Don't enjoy too much, but don't always study. Don't always study, because you're going to burn out. Burnouts are real. So make time to listen to music, dance. In my free time in high school, I loved watching Nigerian movies. So whenever I wasn't studying, even now I love Nigerian movies. So whenever I wasn't studying, I would watch Nigerian movies, and then just to get my mind off books, So find something that you can do within an hour, 2 hours. Don't over enjoy. Yay, don't spend 2 days enjoying. You don't do that. This is matric. We don't do that. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If there are any more questions that you guys have for me, leave it in the comment section, guys. I'm always there. Like, I'm always there in the comment sections, though. And yeah, guys, see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, I know I was about to say bye, but then I remember that I promised you guys something. These are my results. How do I do this thing? Yeah, you guys can't see. You guys can't see my results. So I'm just going to read them out loud. No, I'll put them somewhere on the screen. Yes, I'll put them somewhere on the screen. So bye.